Hey, we are back again today. We are back here today with Patricia and Stan the man.
Stan the man. Stan the man.
Yes, Stan the man.
You're right. How are we?
Poor Stan. With well, thank you, Stan. As I said earlier, just when you came on, we've missed you.
Yeah.
Been busy doing lots of different things, really. You see that, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what we're talking about. This is what we've been showing people and they've been looking at. This is the moon stuff. Let me put this up. But yeah, when you look at this in the VR headset, you go outside and then look at the stars and the moon and the sun, and it makes a lot more sense. You know, you actually see it for what it is in the headset.
It's just incredible.
It's like I was saying to you earlier, when do you go outside and watch the moon for that length of time? So like I say, this...
Are you still on your P900 or have you got a 1000 now?
No, I've still got the 900. But yeah, that's 14 days. Who goes and watches the moon? Who sits down for 14 days with their eyes every which direction watching the moon? No one. That's what the camera does for you, and then it shows you the paths of the moon.
I know. I just find it all incredible, really, and such a lack of information, really, for the people about what's really happening.
Well, you don't see pictures like this from NASA ever.
No.
Because it would raise too many questions, you know, like, what is that? Why is that doing that? Why does it all look so uniformed and nice? Shouldn't, should it? So yeah, this is what we've been making people look at, like this and the horizon drop footage, which is on Z Proxy's channel. Like this video is on my channel. The other, most of it's on Z Proxy's channel that we're going to be looking at. So yeah, Roxy, Roxanne, Glenn, Jason, Lisa, they've seen it. You know, there's a good chunk of people that have seen it. I wanted to get Crow 777 to look at it in a headset, but he hasn't done as of yet. Hopefully one day. I think it's something everyone should see at least once. That's what I say to you. Speak to your son, see if he can load up the images for you.
Then I'd have to take some pictures of the moon plotted out during the, take pictures out the window of there's the moon on that day, there's the moon on that day, and then ask him to put them in so that you could see the changes and the heights. And
no, you can just look at my images. I'll send you some images.
Okay then.
Yeah, you know.
All right then.
And anyone that wants to look at images, just contact me. You know, as long as you got.
All right, Sam.
I'll send them out, and they can sit there as I did for 2 weeks, just going, "What is going on? What is going on?"
What was it? I was listening to because obviously I listen to those videos. You know, I'm uploading them again. So basically, you put it in there. On the other video, when you were first doing it, you were saying, "I didn't even know what I was looking at," and then it hit me.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks of just look like I've filmed this myself. Like this one here, this image here is mine from my rooftop. Like it was done on this camera here. So what we've done here, this is overlay over overlay over overlay over overlay of images done from a recording. So what I was doing was leaving the camera on the roof for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks until the card was full. And then I was going up there and getting the card, coming down, uploading everything. And then we were processing it all. It is literally image over image, just screenshot upon screenshot of where the moon is over that 360 image. And it's just laid out. And then I went up there with another camera and clicked a sunset image as the main image. and then all them images were overlaid over that image to give you this picture, so you can see the paths of the moon. But it's as is, you know.
Just asking you, you know, when I said to you, I look out of my window and I can see, obviously, more in the winter, everything's coming up more in the south, and in the summer, things come up more in the north. Does this pick with this then see that then? Like one night, it might.
Yeah, no, that's what the sun and the moon do. They follow these tracks. So you got to imagine this line here is looking east. This line's looking west. So when this is northeast and that's southeast. So in the winter time, when the sun's coming up, it's coming up southeast, and then in the summertime, it's coming up northeast. Because this is around you. You got to remember this image is this footage. So that line there is east. Anything beyond that is northeast, southeast. So winter time, that's why you're getting a shorter day in the winter, because there's a shorter track, and in the summer there's a longer track. Hence, you're getting a big difference in time of sun and dark. You know, sun day and night time. You know. But the closer to the equator you get, the more these lines are straight up and out and over. That's why you're getting near as damn 12 hours of daylight and darkness.
Did you have some idea that it was going to do this? Or really, you're one of the first people to have done this? To sort of, it's not that maybe people haven't put their pictures in, but to plot out the moon and so forth and the sun, you're one of the first people to do this.
As far as I'm aware, me, Z, and the Cosmic Surfer are the only 3 people to do it all at the same time, you know, simultaneously, tracking for 1 month of the moon, like civilians. No one's replicated it since, and I've not seen anyone try to track the moon like we did.
It's a really bizarre place we live, isn't it? Because you're going to get that view with your camera there, and then I'm going to get a view of it here, and it's going to be with you and here. I just find it incredible what we're living in. I don't even know if I can explain it anymore.
But you see, the more north you go, the more they lay down, so you're getting less daylight. You're getting even less daylight, you know. I didn't expect it to show what it showed. I was like, no way, what is it? What is this? And then, like I said, I just sat there for 2 weeks looking at it. And then it just all flicked in my head how it's working. But
clever bunny you are, Stan.
Everyone, like I say, you need to get these images from me if you've got a VR headset and look at them. Because you ain't seen the moon until you've seen the moon in a VR headset. And people say, yeah, it's virtual reality, this and that, but that's as it is. That ain't created by us.
How many days is that? Is that 1 day then?
That's 1 evening, yeah. This one is 1 evening. Hence, there's just one line of everything. Because this is mine, and then this one's the Cosmic Surfers, so that's 14 days. Z Proxy's one isn't in this video, but we have it. But yeah, you see the 14 days, and the difference in rotation tells you your longitude and latitude. That's how everyone used to travel this Earth, using the stars.
It's amazing that they would have known so much then and known all that without having a goggle set, unless they did.
Well, they knew this. This was a common thing. This is what the cross is about. You know, it's an old thing for measuring the sky. It's a tool. You know, the cross and Christianity. It's a tool. It's the sky tool. You know? For the gods in the heavens.
what I mean about it's a bit weird is that I'm in a slightly different location to you. I'm not particularly too far away from you, really, except for the water. But because we'd have to get over the water to see you. But in reality, I only live probably about an hour and a half from you, which isn't that far in, with all the people we talk to in the world. But I still would get a slightly different perspective. If it would still come up a bit different for me, or a slightly different angle in the sky.
Little bit different. You'd have I believe a bit more like it'd be laid down. But I'm farther south, so the scan lines have rotated more towards the horizon, up and over, so I'm getting more daylight than you would. The sun would.
Could I ask you something? When you look up at the sky, is Polaris like in my house? Polaris is almost dead center over my house. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're much more north than they're telling us.
No, Polaris to me is about 44 degrees, I reckon, 45. Well, it's between 40 and 45 degrees Polaris to me.
It's sort of almost over the middle of my bedroom.
I've not seen like this. This is meant to be Alaska, yeah. This footage here, Alaska, like when you're at the North Pole, the pole star is directly above you. That is the North Pole. Regardless of any GPS garbage they tell you, that is your true north. Is one that pole star is above your head. Which I've not seen any footage of anyone anywhere.
But what I'm trying to tell you is it's still not far off, is it? Like, it's not quite.
I think it's. I don't think we've been. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Until I've been to where that pole star's above my head, I haven't been to the North Pole.
What I'm trying to say is that we're quite north, though. You can see that we are from where it is in the sky.
I don't know whereabouts with you, but for me, it's about 50-50. I'm about halfway from north to the equator, looking at the sky. You can measure all this anyway. I can teach you how. But yeah, we'll move on from this anyway. So I've covered this 100 times.
Yeah, and we love it. We're still mesmerised by it 3 years on.
The sky is just mesmerising. All the Pink Floyd songs everyone should listen to, because it's all encrypted and it's everywhere. That's what I'm going to show you now. We're gonna do a bit of like 360 history quick. So this, you see this? This is a 360 map drawn in 1902. Columbus, Ohio. And if you look on the map, it's got the miles. Look, so from here, look, you're looking out 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, 40, 50. It's got all. And like I say, this 1902.
How could they have done that then?
Well, this 360 stuff isn't anything new. People have been. It's either been available or they've been dreaming about it. Do you know what I mean? Because you could do this with maths. You could draw this out if you knew mathematically how to draw it. But did they have a way of visually seeing it? Because what would be the point in drawing it if there was no way of seeing it?
If you had to try and put your stars onto a map like that, it would take you ages and forever and be so difficult. Yet these people, hundreds of years ago, 100 and something years ago, managed to do it.
Yeah, this is 118 years ago.
It's amazing, Stan.
This ain't the only image as well. We found quite a few of these, but this one here is one of my favourites. This is 1847. At a place like a place I can't pronounce. Must be I don't know. I'm not even going to guess. But this is incredible. This is like one of the best ones I think he's found to date. The detail in it. When you actually view this back in a headset, it's incredible. So this is virtual reality from 1847.
Wow. Well, we know history's a lie. I've been finding that out and talking a bit about that on Unscrambled channel. But yeah.
So look at the detail in these pictures. They're like people, horses, and all the houses. And is this how it was? You know, is this that someone sat up there and just drawn it out and then made it work? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? This is just when we see this, it's like wow. So yeah, crazy. Isn't it?
So sorry, is that put through your goggles, or they already done that and you're just viewing it?
No, this is the actual image it's on YouTube. It's on Z Proxy's channel. They're all on his channel. There's about 10 of these images. So they're pictures that Z's now put onto YouTube in a video form, so people can watch them in their headsets if they so please.
Right.
Which really they should be.
What do you think that means when you realise that one was 18 something? What does that tell you?
Well, they had knowledge of this, you know. The 360 sky clock is in everything. It turns out, you know, these 360 things are everywhere. All the churches hidden knowledge of the sky clock. All these old buildings that they mean things, you know. I don't know if the star forts are all tied into what people are calling star forts, these star-shaped forts that everyone's spotting everywhere.
Right, because I've got one up the road from me. It's under a castle that was supposed to have been built in 1100 and something.
Yeah,
but the castle would have been the size of a small. It would be a very small church, because you can see pictures of people standing on grass in the middle of it now, because obviously it's lost the main bit. And just the towers are there. There's been battles at Newbury, so it's quite in history, it's quite a famous little castle. But it's so small. But underneath it, someone was doing some cinematography, and they were doing like the 360 thing, Stan. But and I came across it, and they had a star fort underneath it, and I can see it on the ground.
There's one up the road from me, Carisbrooke Castle.
And also, a lot of people might not know, but the Statue of Liberty has one under it, but they've covered it up to make sure that people don't realise that underneath the Statue of Liberty is a star fort, because then the people would realise that the Statue of Liberty was a lot older than they're telling us.
So I say, you see them in everything, everywhere. They're just here, there, everywhere.
What's your take on star forts? Do you think they're more like into because they were resonating, or because they're not really forts, are they? They were other things, and a lot of them have water around them.
To me, you wouldn't go through that much effort to build something that didn't mean nothing. So I think they do have meaning. And is it a marker? Is it from the air, so you knew where you were from the air, or is it like people have said, are they resonating an energy? Or because if you look at them all, they follow the sound patterns, like the waves of sound. They are, you know.
It's not so well known for the rest of the country, although there is the oldest one in Berkshire, where I live now. It's near Reading, but nearly all of them are in Wiltshire. The white horses on the hills. Now they're best to see them from the sky, and why would they go to all that effort to go out into fields, up hills, and then dig out and draw and get a big horse in chalk there? For what reason? Loads of horses in Wiltshire.
Wow, that's what I mean. It's like we've had something that we haven't got now, you know. Something's missing from this.
It really annoys me that they have systematically been destroying for the last few hundred years our history. We've got bits of it still, thank goodness, but we don't have enough of it. And what they've destroyed probably would help us put it much more together.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people are noticing now, like say for instance, when they built Buckingham Palace, they'll say it took 1 year. And you know, and I brought up some bits, but they're saying I found out, and it says in the history, it took a year to build this, a year, and you're just like, wow, you know, even today it would have taken years and years of preparation, but and it took them a year. But we can't trust what they say because they lie so much about our history. I mean, we're probably grateful that you can find things like this, isn't it, to sort of show, because they like destroying most things.
I don't even know how he found this. Some of the stuff he sends me is just like, where'd you even find that stuff, man?
Well, they're hoping we're not going to be clever enough to put it together.
So if I put this on as well, this is what I was saying about it's all hidden. I think I'll put this up at double. Yeah. So these are all the images around the world in the buildings, and look, there's graveyards and everything, but that is showing you the sky and how it works. It's the sky clock.
Oh wow.
It's in everything. It's, you know, it's like, it's as if it's been put in all these things so it's not forgotten, yet somehow people have still forgot it.
So basically we just don't think.
We just look at it as nothing, yet these things do have meanings.
Sad, isn't it, that we don't, you know, maybe today people might have moved on a bit, not been so interested, but it would have been nice to have had the choice, wouldn't it? That's what's missing. Because they're not putting one, you know, they're not, no one can put things together unless people like you stumble upon them or are clever enough to realise. Most people just look at it and see numbers or figures and whatever. Fascinating, but that'll be it. But yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, you have got to look at everything twice and look at it with open eyes, not just with a quick brief look. You know, you just still some of these I don't understand these symbols. You know, some of them I look at and go, oh yeah, that's sun, moon, star, whatever. You know, I look at them and can know what they are, but some of them is just like, don't know what that means.
It's a bit annoying because we won't know how old they are. You know, like, is that 100 years, 200 years, 400 years, thousands of years? Because we don't know what they've done to us and what they've done about our history and how much they've lied.
I don't think it's that. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Everything is just a lie. That's all I know. Like there's truth hidden in the lies, but most of it's lies.
A lot of them have got that P in it, haven't they? Like a P.
Mm.
Do you know what that is, or you don't know what that is? Right there, it keeps coming up.
I've
There.
No, I have written stuff down, but I haven't got it all.
There you go. There it is again.
But yeah, like people need to look at all this stuff. You know, look, that's everywhere.
And this is on buildings or churches or both.
It's on every like it can be on anything. Seems like it's hidden everywhere.
Sometimes I think about it, and I think with all this hidden stuff, I just think it makes it worse because you know, it just makes it worse for me because it's like spooky. It's all spooky because there's all this stuff that we don't.
There's another thing hidden here in the video. You see my cursor?
Yeah.
That's the 24-hour sun in the background that no one looks at. The sky. Look, there's a picture of the 24-hour sun in the background that no one even sees.
Yeah, we're not very good at. It's almost like we're blind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you're blinded to the thing that's right in front of you. Like you need to look around and just stop and pause things and just go, right, let's just have a look at that again.
But you know what? If you have to say you come across someone that you don't know, like a stranger right now, and you try and explain all this, they'll think we're crazy. But you're telling the truth, even if we don't understand it all. But it's because it's been so covered over that when you try and tell someone the truth, it sounds crazy. It does. To what we've been taught, I mean.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're taught the sun, the moon, the stars, everything goes around the Earth, and the Earth's a spinning ball. Yeah, that's, you know, that's half lie, innit, and half sort of true. Like the sky's a globe. It appears as a globe, and it goes around you. It doesn't go around the Earth. I've not seen any evidence for the sun going around the Earth. I just see it going around us.
How many years have you been being a researcher now, Stan?
About 5 years. I've been looking into this. I've always had interests in things like puzzling, things that are puzzles, and always been drawn to a quest or two, and this was just like the biggest quest of all.
I think the bit of a shock is that it's a bit like when we talk about it, there are pyramids all over the world, like in America, here, there. It's the same thing with I call everything Tartaria because that's where all the hidden stuff is. But if you go to America, they've got buildings like we have, like they have, and there's a lot of like this kind of mosque, like we've got the Brighton Dome, which is sort of they haven't painted. If they painted it like the Moscow building, everybody'd realise that it looks so like a Moscow building, but because they just put lights on it, everybody just thinks, oh, it looks like it's a palace. They don't think, but you see, they just mask everything or don't put it in its true light, and it's just incredible what we've missed. Even you and me, like, don't you think it's incredible? We walked around all those years not realising, and now you can't not but see it.
It seems obelisks. Is it obelisks? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it seems that they're like giant sundials. They're marking specific locations on it. There's all these big. That's what I say. All these buildings, they're not done for fun. They were done for a reason. People were trying to mark stuff to tell people and show them, so they didn't never forget the truth. Couldn't be blinded.
It's strange. What I mean is, if you look at the buildings, even the starports, there are starports everywhere. Those I call them Tartaria buildings. They're everywhere. It's all the same sort of vein, isn't it? If you know what I mean. So, whatever was here, we were all part of one thing.
It was like the world was once free and everyone was happy to do stuff. That's how I want to believe it anyway. And now we're all stuck in limits
divided.
Of boundaries and limits, and put in boxes of, oh, are you a globie or are you a flat earther? No, I'm just me. Do you know what I mean? I'm just showing you how it is.
I'm not sure, but I think maybe it's not. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, if you ever said that you were a flat earther, that was get a cross out. You get away from me. But I think that it's just more a little bit more accepted now.
Yeah, but they want you to put yourself in these they want you to box yourself and cage yourself in these little things. They want you to you divide yourself.
I think what you're meaning is we were all part of one, and now we're totally divided and separated and put into groups. And that link I accidentally sent you instead of the Hangout, that guy there saying, now they call it a colour, black and white, and they've done all this. That's how they've done it. Just made sure everything's about division and everything's duality.
When we should get back to our roots of just the truth, I think that's half of it. Everyone's just lost in a pack of lies.
I don't think people care. And unfortunately, we're always bad because I've got a phone, you've got a phone, we're in our phones a bit. But I use my phone still for research. I'm looking and listening for, I don't know, videos, ideas, talking to you. I'm not just using it to get stuck in a Facebook meme.
I think people are just kept too busy. They once did care, but now they're too ground down and they just don't care. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what it comes down to with most people, is they'd like to give a crap, but I'm too knackered and I don't care. And that's because it's the system and how it is set up. That's how they want everyone to be, you know.
They want to get their dose of controlling from the television.
That's why your
I need
house
to
is
turn
so
that on because I
expensive,
need.
and that's why your car's so expensive, and that's why everything's so expensive. When really it's not worth anything but the person, you know, it's someone's time to put it together. That's all it's worth, right? And yet some corporation or someone says it's worth a lot more than what it actually is worth. So then you have to work a lot harder to get it. So then you're busy, you know. And everyone.
Or we could put it.
You
Put it in another. You could put it in another way. Say 10 years ago, you might have been raving, whatever it was, and whatever was your thing. And none of these things seem very important. And then when you wake up, you realise all the things that you didn't think were important are really important. And then you start researching them and looking into things. That's what happens.
That is what happens. So this video here, it's got some sound to go with it. It's from C Proxy's channel. It's from 1575. It's a building in Italy, an astronomer's building. It was just set up to show the sky. It was basically a giant sundial. This whole building. So there's some audio that goes with this. If we just,
I just find this really incredible. Even in Brighton, in the middle 1880s, they had, like 1850, they had an Aegean project, but unfortunately they took the middle comma out and the thing collapsed. But I'm just saying that they actually went the effort. They had all these things. I just wonder what happened to us from the 1800s to now, because we seem to be a lot more advanced then than we are now.
Yeah, well, I don't know, it's like we've gone backwards, you know. We don't care about the things we should care about now.
We've got phones and cameras, but that's about it. We had electric cars in the early 1900s, in the late 1800s, so we were there.
Yeah.
That building's amazing. I mean, how did they build it? I mean, people have to realise, how do they build these things? You can't build that in 5 minutes.
Well, they had understanding of how the sky actually worked, you know, so they could then use the maths that they knew and understood to create something of awesomeness that would carry on tracking it for them to show their beliefs to be true. You know?
I mean, in a sense, Dan, that almost looks like a church building sort of thing, doesn't it? Sort of like a church.
That's what they describe it as, a cathedral, but it was also for astronomical science. So
those windows play a part then.
Yeah,
so those windows are.
That's the thing with all these old windows in these buildings and these churches, and like they've all got a little hidden meaning that people should be looking at, you know. And you know, there's a lot of people that are, but like they're showing you what's actually happening, you know. They are showing you the truth. So do you want to just sit back and we can watch this? It's 3 minutes 37.
Go for it, Stan. As long as it's all right for the channel, go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. It's you have to let me know and make sure that you can hear it all right. So
yeah.
Here we go.
Expelled secret astronomical features into churches. By Jeff Minot, 2016. A disc of light moves across the cathedral floor. The marble in its path lights up, revealing deeply colored swirls, rich with hues of burgundy, plum, caramel, and ochre. It is ancient rock, stained by terrestrial chemistry and by the infernal pressures of the inner earth. Its surface is smooth and nearly reflective. Testament to extraordinary craftsmanship, but also to the effects of hundreds of years' worth of penitent feet processing through the looming shadows of the church interior. The air smells of smoke and candle wax, and the occasional perfume of a passing tourist. The source of this light is a hole punched through the roof of the church high above, elaborately accentuated by a brilliant halo of golden rays, painted to resemble the sun. The hole acts like a film projector. Daylight streams through, creating a narrow beam of illumination visible only in the presence of smoke or dust, as if something otherworldly has been forced into material form. Seconds pass, minutes, an hour. Outside, the sun appears to arc slowly across the daytime sky. Here, in response, the projected disk creeps inch by inch across the marble floor. At solar noon, when the sun has reached its highest point in the sky, this circle of light touches a long, straight line made of inlaid brass and copper. nearly 220 feet from end to end, or 2/3 the length of an American football field. Although this line extends more than half the length of the cathedral floor, it seems to follow its own geometric logic. It is a long diagonal slash cutting between two columns, against the building's floor plan, as if at odds with the structure that houses it. Stranger still, on either side of this brass line, words and celestial images have been carved directly into the rock. There are the 12 signs of the zodiac interspersed amongst Roman numerals and references to solstices. There is Aquarius, the water bearer, Capricorn, with its confusing mix of shaggy horns and the coiled tail of a sea creature, Sagittarius, preparing to fire a magnificent bow and arrow, and the pouting fish of Pisces. At first glance, these symbols seem pagan, even sacrilegious, as if the astral remnants of an older belief system have somehow survived beneath the feet, and beyond the gaze, of daily worshippers. Yet these symbols are not there to cast horoscopes, let alone spells. They are there for purposes of church administration and astronomical science. This cathedral, the Basilica di San Petronio in Bologna, Italy, also doubles as a solar observatory, at one point. One of the most accurate in the world, and these signs of the zodiac are part of an instrument for measuring solstices. I can say that I literally tripped over the subject, science historian John L. Heilbronn explains to me. Heilbronn is Emeritus Professor of History at the University of California, Berkeley, as well as the holder of advanced degrees in both history and physics. Born on St. Patrick's Day in 1934, he continues to lecture on topics ranging from vortex rings to the epistemology of Niels Bohr. In addition to a biography of astronomer Galileo Galilei, he is author of an excellent book called The Sun and the Church. Cathedrals as Solar Observatories, a study of what are known as meridian lines. When we speak, Heilbronn is spending a long weekend in Joshua Tree National Park. He is an avuncular presence over the phone line, revisiting points he had published 2 decades earlier as if he had written them yesterday. I wondered what this brass line was doing there in the floor, encased in marble, he continues, with all these numbers running up and down it, inside a Catholic church.
So,
yeah, incredible. I mean, that thing would have been acres big.
yeah. In Italy.
Like, it just amazes me that they could build it, because, like I said, they built this dome where you could sit in it and you could have a field in it and animals, but they took the column out of the dome and it collapsed. These things haven't collapsed; they're still here.
That is probably one of the best buildings of its time.
That thing, that copper thing, flipping hell.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all stuff that has happened. You know?
That nobody really knows about.
But you can't have none of this on a spinning globe in space. It doesn't work. This only works if it's going around, if the sun is going around that specific point. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which the sun does to the observer. It's to the observer. It goes around.
Do you have any more information on it, like how old that building is, just for instance?
I don't know how old that is.
And again, it's on. Did you hear what he said? He called it a church, and in it is astrology. And even if they're not using it quite to make birth charts, they're still using it to help them do the sky.
Yeah, but perhaps churches and cathedrals, well, they're not for worshipping the gods, they're for looking at the sky. I
know we can't see it now, but if you look at Notre Dame looked like something from, some like futuristic civilization had lived in that. That was just incredible, that building and the shape of it and everything. It's just, what's that for?
No, if you look at these cathedrals, all the light is how the light comes through. It's built in a specific way, facing a direction.
I mean, I put a video out the other day. Well, it was about the fact that in those days when we were poor and in carts and horses, they were building these great big churches, putting all this gold leaf, all these statues, carvings, paintings,
it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Great big organs with these great big organ pipes, which are just amazing. And it looks like the Wizard of Oz, the thing they sit in to play the organ. And it's like, they did all that just for us to sing hymns.
it's a giant joke, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, there's a lot of truth in the history. Like, it seems like this sort of stuff, this is showing you exactly what is happening. And if you could go there and see this, I don't know if this building still exists. It'd be nice to think it does.
Can you at all get in touch with the person who actually made the video? And is there any way he's got? Do you think they've got any more information?
Z made this up from I think it was a PTF.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it's from a book.
Right.
So there's a lot of but these books are online. You just, I don't know where.
Do you know what? As much as we love our internet, as much as we love our whatever it is, the thing that saved us a little bit is what they've managed to put on hard copy or written down. That's what saved us a bit, because if they hadn't done that, we never would have known any of the truth.
No, you can easily delete the videos, can't they? It's just a touch of a button, you know.
Yeah.
There is a way of checking all this, and that's with the pilots, with the, if you can get them to do 360.
Yeah.
This is a 2D video that Z Proxy's made into 360, but so you can view it in the headset. So then you get to know, you can see, look, you can see the lands beneath you as you're flying over, and then you get to see the movements of the plane. Like in the headset, you get more of a feeling of what's going on in the. You see, like the movement.
Do you feel like you're the captain of the plane? Do you, Stan?
Kind of, yeah. But this is how you can check stuff. You know, if you can get pilots to do the footage, then you can then double check their movements, and you get more of an understanding.
It's a bit weird because they could have used aeroplanes to get the research. Sick, isn't it? They could have, all those years, they could have been, the aeroplanes could have been getting the research for us. So it's just like you say, it's a camera. Someone picks the camera up and downloads it to whichever research station they're in. But none of this is happening.
No, but it should be. You know, it should be loads of this footage. Why isn't there? Why isn't there a whole website dedicated to this sort of footage? I think there should be.
And we think we're so futuristic and modern and all that, when we're not. We're so backward.
But yeah, this is another thing we need, you know.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, that's the main things I wanted to touch on really tonight, showing this.
Hey.
But I've got one other thing I can share. I'm gonna have to find it though, because I didn't.
It's good just to have a chat with you as well, though, Stan. It's been a little while. You know, last time we spoke to you, we were on the other channel. So yeah.
Yeah, that's probably been a year, hasn't it?
May, but you know, we were going 5 nights a week, 3 hours a night. It was a bit much. Whereas now we might have a hang out, and then nothing for a few days, then a hang out, then nothing. You know, I like it a bit more like that, where it's a little bit more casual, because it's quite a lot to commit yourself to. It just basically means I'm married to YouTube.
No, you don't want that. I said that back in the day. You can't do what you were doing all the time.
I probably still am, because I make videos for the other channel, but you know, like, it was quite, you know, we were actually live 5 nights a week, 3 hours a night.
Yeah, it was craziness, wasn't it? I remember doing.
But that was our bit. We can't do the research like you the same. You do it. We listen to you. So we all have our place, don't we? Ours is to help, you know, promote you and listen to you, and
give us a platform to show the stuff on.
Yeah.
But this
and you're our friend as well.
Well, thanks. But this is, everyone knows how I've been filming the moon. Yeah, I'll get my P900. I go out in my back garden. I've got it on a tripod. It's set level to the ground, like to the horizon, and then I just aim it at the moon. So it's still always level with the ground, you know. But all I do is tilt it to the moon. I aim at it and tilt it at it. So what I've noticed with the moon is these, what I'm going to show you here, these are all lunar noons. You know?
Right.
So yeah, these
explain that to people if they don't know.
Hang on one sec.
Patricia, are you there? Patricia.
There's people outside making a racket. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I was just asking Patricia. Well, I'll come back to Patricia in a minute. Then go on, Stan. Sorry, Patricia. I'll come back to you in a minute, my darling. Well, I was just going to ask her. Did you think that church thing, you know, with the big copper? Do you think that was amazing, Patricia? Poor Patricia.
Oh, sorry. You said you'll come back to me in a minute. I was waiting for Stan to carry on.
And then Stan said carry on. So I was just, yeah. Do you think it's a bit amazing, some of the stuff Stan's been showing us again?
It is. What really amazes me is the fact that they can make these beautiful buildings, but they can't make a building for the homeless. You know, it's like, where do we get our priority? I mean, I know it's not, you know, people have got money, they can do things like that, but where's our priorities, and what's wrong with trying to find our worth? It's not about how much your car's worth, it's about how much we're worth. And it's not a competition, but we need to find our worth, don't we?
We are the only true worth. Nothing's worth anything, it's just us.
Yeah.
That's the be all and end all.
And we forget that, don't we? Because we're bombarded with what everything else is worth, and we forget that, not in an egotistical way, but you know, we're more, I think, more important than buildings, and it's about, you know, helping one another. And because at the end of the day, if we don't help one another, the government and these people that are supposedly in power aren't ever going to do it, because they only think about themselves.
Well,
so I have to say thank you, Stan, and Z Proxy, and Cosmic Surfer, and Dave Marsh, and the list goes on. You know, Claudio, David G, Josh X. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Everybody that's been on our channel, Josh Stone. I could go on and on. Thank you for all these people, because we're left with the people doing it.
I'll show you this anyway. This is what I've noticed with the moon. So what I do, I film the moon on my P900. It's always set on the same settings. I've never changed the camera. It's always on 83 times zoom and the same focus, everything. So this is what I've noticed with the moon. This is just, these are random ones that I've just picked out of my Lunar Noon playlist. But yeah, there is a rotation to the moon that no one's really talking about. And it seems, hang on, my little dog's trying to get in, one sec. Yeah, and it seems that yeah, if you see between them two images, it looks about the same, doesn't it? See, it's about the same, the face. And that's both for lunar noon. So that when it's a lunar noon, it's the same as solar noon. It's at its highest point in the sky, so it's no longer rising. It's not setting yet. That's why it's going straight across my screen. See what I'm saying? So this is the lunar noon. So they're about the same on the face, but if you look at this next one, you see the difference in the rotation.
Asking you, does it look like it's say the moon's right sort of level with you, and then now it's moved across the sky 45 degrees? Does the rotation happen because the moon's getting sort of further away?
That's to do with it on the scan lines. It's because it's rising and setting. That's just because of the way you're observing like the movement of the moon. That's not actual rotation per se. That's just, like I say, because of the rising and setting. But
Can I
this,
ask you something? Have you put one of those in your goggles, like a picture of the moon? What does the moon look like? Just one, like looking at it like that through your virtual reality, or haven't you done that?
oh, it just looks massive when you look at it like that. It's like
Right.
watching on a massive screen. Yeah, like you don't get no more from it really, unless it's a 360
Right.
image. But yeah, can you like this? There's just
Yeah.
there is rotation there to the moon. You know, this is all footage. I haven't rotated it or anything. This is all on my channel as well. People can go on there and look at the raw footage that I've used to edit this video. So I've noticed up to 33 degrees difference in rotation.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Yeah,
the moon does. Oh, carry on, Patricia. Come.
sorry. Can I just say, I went on, I think it was NASA's website, I can't remember what it was, and it showed you the moon, right? All the stages. And I noticed that if you look at the sort of dark patch on the right hand side, because that's the one I noticed the most, it sort of rotates, you know, like a steering wheel rotates, not like sort of from east to west, but like as you're driving a car. If you just turn in
forwards, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I think that when Australia see the moon upside down, it's because it's fully rotated that way. And that's why they say, oh, the moon's upside down. But it's not, because, you know, that's why they say Australia's upside down, sorry, not the moon. Because they see the moon upside down, well, as it's rotated round.
That's because of the scan lines and how you've moved though, and how the lines of the sky and the 360 sky moves around us, and you've moved then past what we call the equator, so then they've rolled back on themselves, so they appear upside down or flipped. But it's the same image. It's just it moves with us. You know, it's how we're moving to where we are is how you will see the moon.
I suppose when it is, Stan, think about it this way. Most people, when they look up at the moon, it's like looking at a light bulb. They only see the brightness. You've got the camera and you can see the clarity of the moon, but most people just see a brightness. And most people don't notice that the moon's moving and doing things because they just see it as a bright light.
Yeah,
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I say. Most people don't really look at the moon. They just look at the moon. They don't look at it and try and work out what it's doing or why it's doing it. They just have a brief look at the moon and go, look, there's the moon.
Well, I still find it very strange that I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I saw the moon drag the stars twice in 1 month on the cusp. You know, it's doing the Capricorn and Cancer. I saw it, but I was actually on my landing going, oh my god, oh my god. The only thing is, I actually needed your 360 camera to see what was happening right around me. And I was just looking out my window, and if I tried to record it, you'd have just seen the moon moving. It wouldn't have been nothing. I saw what it did. It came in, it did its thing, it picked the stars up, it brought them back, dropped them off, and then went off. Saw it twice. The moon is so important it helps with our seasons. It does millions of things, I think, even if we can't explain it. And one more thing I just want to ask you.
It's all the giant sky clock, and that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
It's all
Can I ask you, have you ever filmed it when you've been watching it and then the moon just disappears in front of you? Have you ever seen that?
Only through cloud.
Because I've seen it here. There must be one of the gates here or around here, because I've stood there and gone, look at that moon. There's only half of it there. Like, you can see the right part of the moon, but there's a bit like it's not uniform. There's just like a bit missing, and then you drive around the corner, you go, oh look, it's all out now, but it wasn't there a minute ago. No cloud. It wasn't the cloud. People are
cloud.
No, it wasn't. Loads of people are beginning to record it. How it just disappears in front of you, and it can appear in front of you.
No, I've never seen that. I see it doing its
But that might be where you are, your angle.
I see it doing its phases, you know.
But it
That's
has to
not
be
what
something
they
like
say,
that, because
but
it
it's
has to be something like that though, because of the phases. So it's sort of doing what I've told you. It's doing it in the phases of the moon. You still see a little bit of the moon, but it's still doing the same thing as what I've just said. Bits disappear. That's got to be, because that's what's happening with the moon phases. But yeah.
So this is a slightly setting moon. Like you can see it's going down compared to the lunar moons I've just shown. That's what I say. Them clips that I've just shown are only the lunar moons, but yes, there is rotation. I think they call it. To Google it. I can't remember what the globulins call it, but I could find certain things about it, but I couldn't find any reason why it does it, really. Or anything that made sense, anyway.
The Enigma moon. Stan, we have to be somewhere. Do you remember what I said? We've still got a little bit, well, in about 20 minutes, half an hour, we've got to be somewhere. But I just wondered,
we're
you
done.
know,
We've gone through everything we had to, anyway.
Do you want to talk for 5-10 minutes though, as it was your hangout? And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been amazing as per usual, Stan.
Cheers. They call it liberation. Globulins.
What?
That's what NASA called it, the rocking of the moon. Liberation.
What do you call it then?
Well, it's rotation, isn't it? It's moon's rotation. Liberation.
But don't forget, they don't want the people to put any of this together, do they?
No, but
you know, like start working out and showing what's really happening.
No, I've not sat down and had enough time yet to look when the footage was recorded, what scan line it was on. So,
yeah, because it's really hard work just for one person to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There could be a pattern with all of this. So I've not yet studied it enough, but I'm just bringing it to the attention that.
Well, it's anything else you want to say? So that thing with the cathedral, whatever you want to call it, church, that was amazing. I never knew that before.
So yeah, I think we touched on everything I wanted to look at tonight, really. So everyone needs to get a FLIR camera, a 360 camera, get a damn headset, and I'll send you some videos and some pictures to look at.
Okay, I'll ask my son, and and he says yeah. Then I'll ask for the photographs and get him to put them in, and hopefully he'll be mind-boggled.
Well, it'd be something for him to look at as well, you know.
Yeah. The only even just talk, because you're the researchers, you need to just keep talking outwardly about it. That's what we're left with at the moment, and most people don't know about all this stuff, Stan.
That's the trouble. Not enough people talk about it, or if they do, it's like, I don't want to talk about that. You know, you get someone that's like, ugh. So it gets pushed under the carpet yet again. But it needs to be looked at, needs to be seen.
Thank you so much, Stan. Patricia, do you want to say anything else? Patricia?
Yeah. Stan, right, so you're advising everyone to get a, this is a joke, by the way, 360 camera, a FLIR camera, a VR headset. Well, I'm just going to sell my soul to the devil, to be honest. Sorry, yeah. I'm only messing.
Get a loan.
Get a loan. Yeah.
That's as good as selling your soul to the devil, I think.
I think with everything, you have to do things gradually, don't you? Because when I make craft stuff, I don't go out and buy everything. Well, technically, I do buy everything at once, but you build it up, don't you? So, yeah.
That's it. I haven't got everything in one ear. You know, I did my time, thought about what I wanted, and as much as I could afford. But yeah, and you know, people can borrow headsets. You know, mates have got them that they don't use. There's a lot of headsets that don't get used.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. It's not so much creating this stuff, it's just look at it, you know.
Because not every one of us can do what you do. But that doesn't mean people don't like listening and watching what you do. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how in some train stations and places they have like the piano, where you can just go and play the piano. Obviously, if you can play the piano, not like me, couple of fingers, you know. But maybe something like that. You know, set up a VR station with all the information.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping with Roxanne, that she would take it on the streets with her and show people, you know.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Zoom Truth as well, he does a lot of street stuff in America, so we were hoping, you know, he'd do it as well. I think it's America, either America or Canada. I'm sure he's America. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some feedback, but we need pilots to do the...
Yeah, you've been asking that for a while though, haven't you?
About 3 years.
Yeah, I know you have.
Someone would hear me. Come on, hello, is this thing on?
It's so simple for them just to put the camera like on your roof in their cockpit and leave it there and just fly.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're not asking them to do 1,000,001 other things. You're just asking them to leave the camera there. So it's like someone's always recording their flight. Even you had one pilot recording all their flights, you'd be so happy.
That'd be a step in the right direction, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe calling all pilots on main airlines. We need cameras in your cockpit.
Now, do it now.
Yeah, do it now. Stan wants it.
Right.
Anyway, Stan.
Yeah, I think on that.
Yeah, we'll say goodbye off air, but on air, thank you so much. That was really interesting. I loved it, Stan.
Yeah.
And to you, to Patricia, to the chat room.
Cheers. Thanks for having me again.
Oh no, it's a pleasure. You're our friend, Stan. Stan, you've been there from the beginning of Sun and Moon, so yeah. Anyway, love you lot. Patricia?
Yeah, love you, Stan. Love you, Karen. Love everybody. I just wanted to say, you know who you are that I love, which is everybody. So yeah, thank you, Stan, as well. I really love your information. Like I said, with most people that come on the Hangouts, it goes over my head because I'm a simple person, but I love listening to it. I love it. So I hope everything goes well and, you know, you can get this thing off the ground.
Yeah, hopefully one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stan the scientist, because that's what you'll basically be.
You don't have to be a scientist to do science.
You know what I mean? Equivalent to. I mean, that's what it is.
I know. Exactly.
You look at those pictures of what you just showed us that Z Proxy put together, and you look at that and you go, wow. But then you in the future might be the same person for us back in a slightly different way. I know, but it'll be the same thing. Hopefully, your stuff will be recorded, and people will be going, "Gosh, look, that man! He recorded it all. Look."
It's been out there. All the footage is on my channel as well. It's all on there if anyone wants to go back and look for it.
Yeah, I mention you a bit. Don't you worry, Stan. You're not forgotten in our bit.
Bloody splendid.
Yeah. Anyway, for the hangout, we're going to finish now, but we'll say goodbye when I've pressed the button. But for the hangout, to everybody, thank you so much, Stan. Patricia.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.